Now we are heading towards the last module for this course, which is Spark with Mongo. So Spark is basically a framework that's highly in demand, and there is no comparison for its speed, for its compatibility, for its durability, and Spark is way better than all of its competitors by 10 to 100 times. So that's why actually I wanted to give you a taste of the Spark, and I wanted to give you the Spark test with the Mongo. This will be a very small module, and we will just try to perform the ETL pipeline. We will extract the data from the CSV. We will just do some transformation, and then we will load that data in the MongoDB. So this will be a simpler and the smallest module. But the thing is, I just wanted to give you the overview or the introduction to the Spark. So over here, for working with this Spark, we have to create the Databricks account. Go for Databricks Community. Although we can create we can actually set up this Spark on our local machine, but it's not recommended because we get the exceptions of the installations, and after the installations, there are compatibility issues, version issues, and all that mess that we have to work around with. So that's why the best way is to always go for the Databricks and work there. And then once you are comfortable with that, and once you are mature enough working with this Spark, then you move back to your local or move back to your cluster. Now here we have to go for the sign up, and then it is asking us for the information. I will be just putting some random information and some random email ID, title, and some random phone number. Now click on get started for free. And now make sure that you go for the community edition. If you go for the Databricks platform, so this will be free initially, but eventually within a couple of days, it will start asking for the payment and payment methods, and it will start asking for the money in short. So just go for the community edition, click on get started, and it will send a mail to the email ID that you just provided, and you need to verify that and you are good to go. Then you need to come over here and log that in. Now we have to actually create the cluster first. So we will go for new cluster, and for the cluster name, let's just name it as cluster simple. And we don't need to change anything. We are good with that. Let's just click on cluster and wait for it to create the cluster for us. So now hopefully at your end as well, your cluster is being spinned up. It takes a couple of minutes depending on the availability of the cluster at the Databricks, but still you will get that in around 5 to 6 minutes. After getting the cluster, you have to go for the libraries. Then you have to click on install new. Now what we are going to do, we are going to prompt some important libraries that we need for establishing the connection with PySpark to the MongoDB. The thing is that if we work on the PySpark on our local machine, then we have to manually provide all these connectors and all this stuff, set their path, and make sure that the dependencies, the version conflict is not bothering us. All that mess we have to take care of. But on the other hand, if we are working on the Databricks, we just need to go for libraries, go for Maven, and then we can just simply provide we can go for our relevant libraries. We have to go for the search packages, and here we have to go for Mongo, and we have to go for MongoSpark. Don't go for the Spark MongoDB, you have to go for the MongoSpark. Click on select, then click on install. Next, we will be adding a new, install new. And for that, we now need the XML for parsing the data. So for that, we go for install Spark XML and search packages and XML. So we need to go for the Spark XML, select that, and we are good to go. So again, it will take a couple of seconds for it to install, and after installation is done, we will proceed further. So I hope that your package has been installed successfully. Now this is time for explore the data. Let's just click on this data and click on create table. For this particular module, we will be using office data.csv. Let me just open this. So this is the simple data that contains all this information, that contains the employee, that contains the department, the state, salary, age, and bonus for that employee. And there are only 10 rows. Now what we will do, we will just put this file in the Databricks environment, and then we will read the Spark code that will extract the data from here and load it inside MongoDB. So let me just take this file from here and drag and drop it in the Databricks. So here, let's just take it from here, drop it over here. This is the path of the file. Let's just copy this and go for the, we can directly go for, okay, let's just go for the Databricks home and then create the notebook over here. Now for the notebook, we have to just name it anything. So we can go for Mongo with Spark. The language is default Python. The cluster is the cluster that we already spinned up. Let's just create it. Now just to make sure that we have actually the Spark and all thing up and running, I'm just writing a simple statement that will read the data from that file and print it over here. So we will go for spark.read.csv, provide this path, and then we get the df, and then we go for df.show. Yeah, perfect. We are getting the data, and that's how we actually this statement will help us to read the data from the CSV, and this is a simple trivial Spark code. This is pretty much it from this video. In the next video, we will try to read the data in a proper way using that in a most MongoDB way, and then we will dump the data inside the MongoDB. In this video, we will try to create the Spark session with our relevant configurations, and then we will try to read data using that Spark session from the file, and then we will try to dump that data in the MongoDB. So the first thing is we have to create this Spark session. So over here, we are using this default Spark session that is created by this Databricks notebook, and this Spark session does not really have any configurations. It's the pretty much basic Spark session. So we will have to create this Spark session that have the required configurations, required URI information, and then it will just simply establish the connection with the MongoDB and write the data over there. And although it would be a basic Spark session as well, so it will be able to read the data from this file as well. Now, if we go for creating the Spark session, we go for Spark equals to Spark session, and before that we have to import the Spark session. So we will go for from PySpark.sql import the Spark session. Then we are using this Spark session to create the Spark session actually, and here Spark session dot builder, then dot config. So this is the main thing that we actually wanted to do while creating the Spark session. So the first thing is we have to go for Spark dot MongoDB dot input dot URI. Then again for the config we have to provide it twice. So we will go for config, then copy this from here and paste it over here. So again spark.mongodb.input.uri. Then we have to provide the values, and for the values, we have to provide the URL for our MongoDB. Go for connect and click on connect your application, copy this from here, and we are good to go. So let's just create a new cell with the variable Mongo URI with the value, and for the password, we will just go for test_123. That's all. Give it a go, and here we will be using this variable Mongo URI. Then after doing that, we have to go for the another configuration, which is spark.jars.packages. And for the packages, we have to specify the value, which is the version for the Spark connector. So let me just copy this and paste it over here. So this you will be actually getting this notebook, so you don't need to worry about anything. You just need to create the configurations over here, and then for the final configuration, we have to specify the Spark jars.packages, and here we have to specify the connector that we are using. Next thing is that we have to, after providing the connector, we have to go for get or create. This statement get or create will simply create the Spark session for us if it's not already being created. Otherwise, if it's there, then it will provide us with one. Now, if we give it a go, okay, so there's a typo. This should be full stop, and yeah. Now, if we run that, our Spark session has been successfully created. Now, using Spark, this part, if we again use the same code, it will read the data, but using this updated Spark that we just created. And then, if we go for df.show, we are getting the relevant information. Now, let's just go for headers and make the headers true because we want to get the headers as well. Because the first row over here is not considered as the headers, it is considered as the value. So when I provide the headers true for reading, it will consider the first row as the headers. So it will go like header. Yeah, we are getting the first row as the headers now. Next thing is we have to just simply write this to the MongoDB. And before writing, we have to go for the MongoDB Atlas, and inside this cluster, we will be creating our new database, let's say Spark DB. For the collection, we can again state it as dummy collection. Create it. Yeah. Now, what we will do over here, we will try to just simply use this df, because just the thing is that this df is created using this Spark session, and this Spark session is being created using this Spark session with all these configurations. So this data frame has all the configurations for connecting with the MongoDB. So we will go for now df.write.format, and inside this format now we have to go for com.mongodb.spark.sql.default source. I'm not sure why they named it so long, but this is the convention that we have to follow. And make sure you are using the same case and same spelling. So it's com.mongodb.spark.sql.default source. Next thing is, after doing this, we have to provide the option. For the option, we have to provide the URI first. And for the URI, we will be using this Mongo URI. Then we again go for the next option, and here we will provide the database name. For the database name, we just created Spark DB, so I'm using that. Then for the next option, we have to provide the collection. So let's just make it collection, and over here, go for dummy collection. Then we have to go for save. So what this statement will do, this statement will simply save the dump, save this data frame that contains all this information inside the MongoDB. So in this video, we just saw that how we can read the data from the file, and then we extended our Spark, we recreated our Spark with all the configurations that we want, and then we are just reading the file again, and then we are writing this to the MongoDB cluster. So if we give it a go, and the reason why we are getting this exception is that it is stating that MongoDB Mongo collection already exists. So the collection that we are specifying, dummy collection, is already available, and we actually created that. Now what we have two ways now. The first way is we rename the collection, which is the trivial way, and the other way is that we just provide the mode. So if I go for mode, and inside that I provide the mode override. This is the override mode. What it will do, it will, if the collection is already there, it will simply wipe out its all entire data, and then it will load this data, this data frame's data, inside that. Instead of override, if I go for append, it will keep the existing data, and it will dump the new data with the existing one. So right now we just need the override. So let's just make it override, and now let's just run this. Okay, I accidentally entered Control S on the web. Now, if we run that, hopefully it will dump the data inside that. Yeah, it went fine. Now, if we just go for this one and refresh it, yeah, we are getting the data. So we are here we are getting all the data, and right now there are only 9 records. Now instead of overwrite, if I make it append and I rerun this statement, okay, so yeah, there's a typo, so it should be append. Now if I go over here, again refresh it, you will notice that there will be total of 18 records. So 9 from the previous one and the 9 from the upcoming one, and that's total cumulates to 18. And again, if I make it overwrite now, then we only get the latest records. And this is the basic ETL migration in which I am reading the data from the CSV and I am writing it to this cluster. So this was a pretty simple and the small module, and the reason again why I introduced this is just to give you a little bit taste of the Spark and to show you how powerful Spark is. That just imagine all the hustle that we have to went through for loading the data in the MongoDB is just a couple of lines in the Spark. So if we just remove all this and put it together, that's it. We are using Spark session for creating the Spark session. Then we are reading the data from the CSV, and then we are dumping the data in the MongoDB. It's that simple. So I hope that you get along with all this stuff. I really hope that you develop the understanding of MongoDB, its projection operators, its updation operators, its all the functionalities of finding, updation, creation, deletion, and you develop the understanding of MongoDB with respect to Node.js, with Python, and all the stuff that we have covered so far. And I really wish that you get along with all the projects and all the things that you wanted to go along by with the help of this course. Still, if you have any questions, you need any help, you need any guidance, then we are always here for you. Please feel free to let us know in the question and answer section, and we will try to get back to you on that as soon as possible. Although this course is winding up and I tried my best to make this course as simple as I can and as effective as I can. But still, if you have any suggestions, then please do let us know and we will try to improve this in the upcoming courses. So this is pretty much it from my side. I will see you in the next course.